so chosen.
Yeah, the top players, I mean, their money's going to be the same everywhere they go. I actually give Matthews credit. He gets in there and he gave an answer, right? I'm guessing on the inside he's disappointed. You're not mad at your friend. You get it, because it could have been Matthews, right? At some point, this could have been Matthews leaving. I'm not suggesting he wants to leave, but that's the way it works. If things don't maybe go the way you want, or you're looking for a change for whatever reason, I think that you understand, but you're still disappointed. For Martin, I'm actually really excited. I've played in 2 Canadian markets. I've played in 3 American ones. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Attention, focus, and that's good and bad, right? When you're rolling and playing well, I mean, there's no better place than to be in a Canadian city. When things aren't going well, or maybe, whatever the team isn't going the way you want, you can hide easier in a U.S. market. So, for Martin, he's going down to a team that's been good since they've come in. It looks like he's going to play with Jack Eichel, who those 2 guys, someone's going to have to shoot the puck, I guess. But you know what? I think, Festchuk, when I look at it, I think Matthews has to come out and say these types of things and just be upfront and say exactly, give clips so that eventually it will go away, because there'll be a new storyline for the Maple Leafs and the NHL at some point here. Just, we're not there yet.
Well, certainly if Matthews regains his scoring touch going back 2 seasons, that story dissipates really fast, doesn't it?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
You're the world's greatest goal scorer, which he's, got a real legitimate claim to being. You got to score more goals than he did last year, and we all know it was health related, and he didn't give much of an answer when he was asked about his health last night, but I guess we're going to find out when we watch him skate and watch him play very shortly how he's looking, because he didn't look like the Austin Matthews that we're used to for much of last year.
Okay, so let's jump in here, Struddy, on let's burn through a couple of these Matthews clips, and then we'll talk about it. Here's Matthews on Leafs expectations this season.
Feeling good. Yeah, obviously a lot of changes, but excited about the guys we brought in. Obviously excited about the guys that we have. I know we got a great team and great group of guys in the locker room, so looking forward to kind of getting starting. Guys are going to have to take some steps, but I think that's a good thing, a good problem to have. So really looking forward to it.
And then we'll follow that up with question number 2 that you could ask basically on a nightly basis. Quick answer on how his health is. And let's listen to the answer. It's very quick.
How's your health, Austin? Good. Yeah, thanks.
Struddy, what do you make of this? I mean, obviously there's been a lot of talk in this market about Matthews' unwillingness to discuss his health. He didn't want to, even after the season when we're used to, hockey players or hockey coaches reading off a list of all the injuries that have been plaguing their players through the playoffs. Matthews declined to give us any insight at all into what's been plaguing him, and that was, a case in point. What do you make of that from a player's perspective?
Well, I kind of like it a little bit, as far as there's a bit of bravado attached to that. You're trying to pretend like you're Superman, right? Now the reality is there's no one who's Superman, and we're all gonna at some point get injured and get hurt. I think that you can, if you don't want to reveal the injury, you can say, listen, I was dealing with something, and there was a challenge. I expect after 4 months or whatever time they had off, 3 months, I'll be 100%, right? You can give it that way. You don't have to say exactly what happened. But I think we all know that when it comes to, the type of injury everyone seemed to think Matthews had, and the touch required to score at the level he did, as you've referenced their tats a couple years ago. I mean, we'll know if it's back, if he's there, because it makes a difference. That an injury to your wrist, to your hand, whatever, fingers, that drops you down from elite to maybe average. And average is great at 25, 30 goals, but that's not elite. So I'm guessing that if he doesn't think it's a story, it's over, and he will be healthy, and he'll regain that ability to shoot the puck that we all love to watch.
Yeah, having said that, I mean, you're a former player, so you know how what the code is and how it plays out. When you don't answer a question, even though it's your right not to answer the question, the lack of transparency does send a message, doesn't it?
Yeah, is that the place to do it? Is the form that he wants to maybe add training camp? Like, does he want to address it formally in front of everyone? Like, I'm guessing not every Leafs reporter was at this event. You know, so maybe he wants to do it formally, and he'll address it. You know, what is it? It's the day of training camp, first day. Don't they have some kind of
they'll have
the media
something.
thing? Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
media, yeah. So maybe that's where they want to talk about. Maybe they'll bring in the trainer. I don't know. You know, maybe they want to do it more formally. But I honestly, I'm guessing, guys, if he doesn't need to talk about it anymore, we're not going to have that. You know, there won't be an issue. But then you look at like Connor McDavid. Remember the knee issue he had. You know, there was no news. Then all of a sudden they dropped that documentary, and we're all like, what the hell happened? Like, we thought he was fine. You know what? We had no idea. And so maybe his teammates knew, and obviously the team knew. But that, I'm not suggesting that's what happened with Matthews. But I guess sometimes you can be misled.
All right. I'm going to ask your expert opinion on this. It sort of leads into a top 20 list of centers by the NHL.com. But first, we got this vintage stuff of Joe from the Bridge learning the leverage lesson. This goes back to YCBHL ball hockey action. He plays for the Young Canadians, now called the middle-aged guys now because it's years ago. But this is how not to sort of step into a hit. Watch this along the boards. Ready? Boom.
Oh!
Oh. Boom.
That's Joe from the Bridge going down.
Yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And by the way, Struddy, that's a non-contact ball hockey league.
Oh, so listen, I run some camps here, you know, and the first thing I say is play with your head up. And you can clearly see his eyes are glued to that ball down there. So you might want to work on his stick handling first to get his eyes up, and then he doesn't see that train coming. Man, that's a hard. Was he okay? Did they have to?
I don't know if you could say Joe from the Bridge is okay. I mean, he was just in the studio, and he didn't make a lot of sense. And here's where it unravels. We're talking about the NHL top 20 centers list. There it is again. Oh, I got the back of his head on the boards, too. That's tough. So I'm just going to read this off. Connor McDavid, obviously number 1. Number 2 is Nathan McKinnon. Number 3, Leon Draisaitl. Number 4, Barkov. Number 5, Crosby. Number 6, Reichel. Number 7, Austin Matthews. Number 8, Braden Point. Number 9, Scheifele. Number 10, Suzuki. And I'll just go through the top 20. Sorry to overload everybody with the information, but we have to talk about this. So there's your top 10. Number 11 is Jack Hughes, Robert Thomas, Aho, Hirshire, Larkin, Stutzla, Hintz, Thompson, Celebrini, and Bennett round out the top 20. Now, Joe was of the opinion that Austin Matthews should be higher, and Fess and I both ixnayed that. Where are you?
Well, the point that Joe from the Bridge made, which may speak to the condition he was in after that hit, is Struddy. He made the point he believes that Matthews should be ranked ahead of Barkov.
No.
To which I said, did you not see who won the past 2 Stanley Cups and who was the captain of that team? How do you see that one, Struddy?
The problem for Barkov is that he plays in Florida. If he played in Canada, they'd be erecting statues about how great of a player he is. I mean, he does everything well. He is just such a great player. So no, I don't have Matthews any higher than that at all. I mean, you got Sidney Crosby still playing at a high level, Jack Eichel, the 2 guys from Edmonton. I can't. No, I could not at all endorse any idea where Matthews moves up that list. But it's okay to be 7th. I mean, you're the 7th best, or let's say in that area, best center in the world. That's pretty amazing. Now, can he push his way up that list? Sure, he can. Sidney's not getting any younger.